So you all know that, in retail media, we have been traditionally seen as a performance channel. I'm going to say something that is not here, but I really feel this, and I heard someone say, retail media is where creativity comes to die, and that hurt me so much. I'm like, no, we're going to prove them wrong. That's not the case. And I'm here to show you that with an amazing case study. The Wolt is Better with Pepsi campaign was built around this challenge. How do we do creativity that really drives results at the point of purchase, drives relevancy, and is working for the brand, for the bottler, for the agency, and for the platform. So we're gonna kick in with a little bit of a video that explains what the campaign is, and then I'm gonna introduce you to our amazing panel here today.
Takeaway has become an indispensable part of everyday life in Denmark. Fast, easy, and delicious. But something was missing. 8 out of 10 Danes love drinking a refreshing soft drink with their takeaway order, but only 2 out of 10 actually end up buying one. We call it the takeaway paradox. And with Pepsi, we knew exactly how to solve it. We chose to tackle the takeaway paradox head on. We didn't need to talk people into choosing a Pepsi, we needed to be part of the purchase moment. And the solution? A strong partnership with Denmark's largest takeaway platform, Wolt. Together, we launched the concept Wolt is Better with Pepsi. The goal? To remove all friction throughout the entire takeaway journey and make it effortless to get a Pepsi delivered to your door. First, we went broad with a local and entertaining hero film, a playful chase between a Pepsi patrol and a Wolt courier, shot in recognizable Danish settings. The message: your Wolt meal is never quite complete without a Pepsi. Next, we made sure Pepsi was everywhere in the Wolt app. Targeted banners, great deals, and Pepsi combos in over 1,500 restaurants. Pepsi had to pop up right when hunger struck. Finally, we removed the last barriers and secured the final click. Sponsored placements, CRM reminders, and ad with one click. Directly in the app. It doesn't get any easier to add a Pepsi. And the results? They speak for themselves. In just 1 month, Pepsi doubled its sales via Wolt. We got over 200 new restaurants on board, and Pepsi's penetration rate tripled during the campaign. Old fans and new hearts were won. Pepsi became the undisputed king of takeaway. And our creative universe? The Danes loved it. With a hero film that kept eyes glued to the screen, we exceeded all attention benchmarks. Creatively, we hit the mark. Entertaining, unique, and one you'd want to rewatch. In short, the ad crushed all expectations for creative impact. The success was so great that the whole world now wants a piece. Pepsi and Wolt are rolling the concept out globally, and in Denmark we're already repeating the campaign celebration in 2026. With this campaign, we transformed a simple human need into a digital and scalable growth engine, and proved that when takeaway is on the menu, Wolt is simply better with Pepsi.
Det er den perfekte kombi.
Det er ligesom os to.
Cheers and bon appetit.
I still get goosebumps when I see this, so congratulations. And with that amazing introduction, I'm going to introduce you to our panel today. So Bente, I invite you to say a few words to our team today.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Bente. I work for the PepsiCo company, which owns the brand Pepsi. We're located in Copenhagen, and we are a franchise business. So we kind of own the brand, do the strategy on the brand, but we work very close together with our bottler in the local markets, Royal Unibrew in the case of Denmark. So I'm handing it over to you, Therese.
Yes, yeah, I'm Therese. As Spencer mentioned, working at the bottler side, so for Royal Unibrew. Been working with the PepsiCo Corporation for 5 years, and we're also located in just outside of Copenhagen, I would say. Yeah.
Henrik.
Yes, my name is Henrik. I'm from WPP Media, and we have been the media agency for Royal Unibrew and Pepsi in Denmark for many years. I've worked with them for 13 years now, and we're actually also working with them within the communications part. So we've also been the ad agency here, so both working with the ad part and the media part at the same time. So that's a great thing from our side.
Thank you guys for being here today. It's really a pleasure. I still get goosebumps seeing that case study, so it's great to have you here. With retail media growing so much and this fragmentation really growing, how are brands rethinking the way they reach and connect with consumers, Bente?
Well, I mean, consumer needs and behaviors are constantly changing, right? And with that, the consumer journey is also changing, becoming more, as you say, fragmented and at the same time very compressed. So yeah, for brands like Pepsi, we needed to rethink when and where and how we show up in the moment of the purchase. So, and that is especially important for us when it comes to the meal occasion. 60% of all cola volumes sold around the world is basically consumed together with a meal or a snack. So it's a huge commercial opportunity for us. So yeah, it kind of demands that you constantly renew yourself in this case. So for us, yeah, we had to rethink how we showed up, basically. And when we in Denmark, well, historically, our competitors have had a stronger kind of take on the on-trade occasion and away from home occasion than we have had. So it's really a big win for us to grow the on-trade occasion. And when we were looking into data, etc., especially on, for example, the takeaway situation, we saw that 20%, only 20% were ordering a drink with their meal, with their order, but actually 80% wanted to. So that, of course, told us two things: that there were an intent, and there were also the way you work today. It doesn't really help people or nudge people to solve that problem of including that drink in that situation. So for us, it was really a challenge that we wanted to solve. How can we come closer to the purchase, to that exact high intent moment of adding your beverage? So, and that's what we teamed up with Wolt. And together with them, we created a campaign where we kind of worked on the creative part of closing that gap between say, I want a beverage, to I added a Pepsi. That's what we wanted to achieve. Yeah.
Thank you. Therese, how do you think like a platform like Wolt can really help in this situation? How do we help you connect better with consumers?
Yeah. I think most of you know that the consumers are exposed to super many brand impressions every day, all day. And even also in the intent where they're solving a problem, here delivering or ordering food, they're becoming even more, good at prioritizing and scaling away. So we thought, okay, can we do something creative that is going through the funnel, really? So from the awareness building and to the intent of purchase, so we can actually help them, as Bente say, in that situation where they really want, 80% want that drink. Why don't we help them and make that choice really, really easy? So really a through a funnel approach.
Yeah. And back to the creative, for me it's really interesting the challenge of having like a big brand like Pepsi that has a global team, a global creative that is kind of flowing, connecting the brand with the bottler, the agency, and the platform. What was that creative leap for you, Bente?
Yeah, I think that, as you mentioned, especially for global brands like Pepsi, we are basically taking global campaigns and adapting them to the different markets. So there's a challenge to kind of say we want to do something locally, but with this one, we felt it really needed to feel locally relevant in the moment of the purchase. And when we spoke to Wolt and we kind of sparked the idea of can we do something together, we actually looked into what do we have from a global side? Is there anything we can work on? And we did find this American, the US copy on takeaway actually. So we were kind of saying, okay, what if we took that one and we actually made it locally here in Denmark together with Wolt. And it turned out to be this amazing Danish copy. And I think because in the moment of the purchase, that it's locally relevant, it's meaningful, it becomes more than just a transaction. It becomes something that, first of all, take away the friction of choosing the beverage, but it also feels meaningful to do so.
Thank you. And Therese, like from a bottler perspective, you're sitting in that intersection between the big brand and the more performance budget. How are you changing the behavior to like use brand in a more integrated way? Yeah.
Also what Bente mentioned, that I think the idea actually started in a very commercial meeting between Unibrew and Wolt, where we sit and say, okay, how can we sell even more Pepsis here? How can we use the platforms on Wolt to really just up the purchase? And then we thought, okay, can we do something smarter here? Can we maybe can we
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. So we thought about, okay, how can we do this creatively? How can we make it, instead of just a purchase, as Bente mentioned, how can we make it more emotionally relevant? How can we do it in a fun way, so that it exactly not just becomes a purchase, but a natural action for the consumer, that it feels an ease and really helping them towards that. But of course, we really needed to think differently, I think, from both Pepsi and Wolt.
I think we both decided that it has to be the creativity that should lead this one. Yeah. And for creativity to kind of drive into action and not just awareness, it really has to solve a problem for the consumer. So that was like number one. And when you do that in a funny way, you remove the friction, and you make it even locally relevant. I think that was the key for this one. Yeah.
But I think one of the hardest things, if you think about it, is how do you get 4 teams engaged? Great ideas are like fantastic, but bringing them to life is really hard. Henrik, from an agency perspective, you're in the middle of all of us. How do we overcome this challenge of integrating 2 marketing teams, the platform, the brand, the bottler? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I would say before I joined WPP Media, I've worked at several advertising agencies, so I've been into many productions, and just working with one client can be a nightmare, trying to make them, convince them to do it right. And normally when we work both with PepsiCo and Royal Unibrew, we actually have 2 clients. So even though we work together, we actually have 2 sides who actually have to agree upon everything, whether it's the creative or it's the media plan. They have to sign up. And then when we joined with Wolt, I become even more sweated. So now we have 3 teams, and not only the commercial teams, or the advertising teams, we also have the legal teams from both PepsiCo and from Wolt. And for those of you who have do advertising, know when you have had sign-off from the marketing teams and then the legal teams come in, and that, but they turned out to be, I would say, even the most easy to cope with, and I think they had a fun day in their legal life to actually just go into the advertising part. But I think what normally you can really have a struggle, but I think what brought all this to life was actually a good relationship between all the parties, and also there's a good chemistry between Wolt and Royal Unibrew and PepsiCo from the beginning, where everybody had the interest of succeeding, because normally you just try to negotiate and squeeze the other part, where we from an agency try to, if we buy retail media, how can we just get the lowest price and get the most out of you, where you try the other way around to get how can you get as much out of it. So, but it was a bit more that everybody was in it for a joint purpose. So that felt good.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I think it was a really like a win-win campaign, because I think we were both interested, like 2 international global brands coming together. I think both of us really wanted to create a fun campaign, but at the same time we had this goal of increasing our penetration. We wanted to have more customers join the platform selling Pepsi. So I think yeah, it was a really win-win for both the brands actually to come together in this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember bringing this to our marketing team, and that was a really key insight, that when we were like doing this collaboration, you actually took time to think, what does Wolt need out of this? And we did the same, like what is the objective for the agency, the brand, and how we can actually do something together that works for all the parties, which is always the hardest. Yeah.
And also, just an add-on that none of the partners itself had the answer. So we knew the market as the bottler, you had the sort of the brand's liability, you knew the audience, and Wolt knew the occasion. So together with that, I think that really sparked something that we were not just holding our expertise knowledge, but really sharing that. That's,
And let's get to the results, which is the best part. Pepsi was added to orders 3 times more often during the campaign period. Sales nearly triple compared to pre-campaign. And then penetration, which was harder in the on-trade moment, remained 30% above baseline. These are like some incredible numbers. But I think, Henrik, you had even incredible results on the media side. Can you actually talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, normally, because now I both represent the creative part and the media part, and as the media guy, we normally would go for very short versions and cut it down to 6-second bumpers. That's the typical media agency answer to everything. On the creative side, we also wanted to build this brand story, and when we started, should we really do a 60-second commercial? That's so old school. That was we did in the 90s. But then we did it, and when you have to do a 60-second and you run it on YouTube, you can't do non-skip. You have to do it on TrueView, so you can skip after a few seconds. So it's really important that people stick where we talk about this view-through rate. And normally we see for only 45-second spots, if you run them, you only have around 18% completion rate if we look at benchmark for all our other clients. And here we actually turned up with 37. But then in the second campaign we actually ran here in the spring, it went up to 63, so it's index 350. And then even I worked much with numbers, and I don't trust numbers, even though if they come from Google or YouTube or Meta or wherever, I don't trust anything. So we were a bit actually, can this really be true? So we actually get in touch with YouTube and Google, say, can you just verify this? And actually went all to the European setup, where yes, these figures are actually right. But we still had to say, what are we doing here? Since it's bizarre, because we have a commercial where you actually have branding in all 60 seconds. We have Pepsi logos in every scene, and then we have actually Wolt logos. So I actually had more or less have 120 seconds of branding in a 60-second commercial. Nobody wants to look at that, because normally if you have a logo in the beginning, you're just skipping through after 2 seconds. But I think we captured something with the entertaining way, so that was very successful. But we're still a bit surprised, but we believe the numbers.
I can't believe that, like literally like getting logos throughout the whole thing and people still engaging to that level is insane. Therese and Bente, like these results are amazing. Tell us a little bit what happened after you became celebrities with this campaign internally.
Yeah, I remember when we put something up on LinkedIn just saying that we have done this film and we're so happy about it. It just exploded, I think, in both our systems. So that's been amazing. And then our PepsiCo markets started to connect. We had a digital team from the US reaching out and saying, wow, we love that you've taken it and turned it into a local one, and you've even kind of built on it with a partner. Which makes it even more valuable. Both adding really to the case that you're kind of synonym to the occasion of takeaway. So that was a big extra and a win. So right now it's several markets have already actually done it, created their own take on this film. And we also know that the fact that next year there will come even more. And we're actually working with Wolt in Finland now to see if we can also make it here. So super excited, and it has really taken off. Yeah. So and what we also see, which I think is great, because we set out to increase the penetration with the consumers. Yeah. So we want more people to add Pepsi with the takeaway. But what we have also seen is that we managed to recruit more customers carrying Pepsi, and that has also kind of continued afterwards. So we have increased
That long-term effect of the
Yes.
campaign you can see
Yeah.
even after it's
So
finished.
it's amazing. They kept building on the second wave that we did. So so super happy about that, to see both penetration with customers and consumers. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Therese, what are your takes on this?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And also from a bottler located in the market, I would say it has really brought us closer to Wolt locally.
Yeah.
So with this success, and it just builds on even more ideas. So how can we sell more in a creative way? And what Bente also mentioned, I think what's really the proudest moment, I think, of the results is really the penetration remaining, not just being a spike, but really remaining throughout, which is not just, we didn't just create a purchase, we might have really changed some behavior here going long term. So that's, it's brought us closer to Wolt in the market, yeah.
And Henrik, just to close, like, what are your takes on, the results and everything we did together from an agency point of view?
No, but this has been a great case for us, representing both the creative and the media part, because working together instead of sometimes you battle a bit between the creative agency and the media agency, and here you could really control and get the best of both worlds, actually. So that has been a great case.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm going to leave here in a second the whole advert. I think it's worth 1 minute of your time.
Hvad er det, vi laver?
Vi følger efter boldbud, for at sikre os, at de får Pepsi med på deres takeaway.
Ved Wolt godt det?
Det ved du godt. Okay.
Så er der Wolt. Og så er der Pepsi.
Det er herovre!
Ja, hun er her stadigvæk.
Vi kommer med Pepsi.
Det er den perfekte kombi.
Det er ligesom os to.
This is the first.
Yes, the cooperation continues.
Thank you, everybody. With this campaign, Wolt Ads also won its first award, so I'm super proud of this. Thank you to the team here. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it.